Oh, hi. I'm a smart investor. I dare say that because I understand the cryptocurrency markets and I am up to date on every new development, fintech and blockchain ecosystem. All because I watch the Inside Blockchain show on Crypto TV Plus. Every Monday morning, Crypto TV Plus brings you news headlines of top stories, interview with an expert, and give you detailed market analysis to enable you make the right business moves. Now you too can become a smart investor if you don't miss it. The Inside Blockchain Show, only on Crypto TV Plus.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Inside Blockchain Show, your one-stop for everything blockchain and crypto. Today is the 23rd of January 2023. I am your host, Faith Ekwari. Let's check out some of the headlines for today. Donald Trump NFTs of surges 800%. Crypto lender Genesis files for bankruptcy. Neil Foundation raises $22 million to build marketplace. Now the story in full. Former United States President Donald Trump sees a positive rise in daily sales volume of his non-fungible token trading card collection. The collection of 45,000 self-themed trading cards was launched on December 15th and initially priced at $99 each, giving buyers of the collection access to 1,000 of prizes, including one-on-one dinners, Zoom calls, and rounds of golf with the former president. Many are pointing to the sudden upward sales volume to the former president's reappearance on social media platforms. The collection saw spikes of 800% and 600% respectively, according to the market metrics aggregator CryptoSlab. Moving on, crypto lender Genesis Global filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in the Southern District of New York. The firm has estimated liabilities of $1 billion to $10 billion and assets in the same range. In a press release, Genesis said it had been engaged in discussions with advisors to its creditors and corporate parent Digital Currency Group (DCG) to evaluate the most effective path to preserve assets and move the business forward. Genesis has now commenced a court-supervised restructuring process to further advance these discussions. Finally, the Ethereum research and development firm Neil Foundation has raised $22 million to build out its proof marketplace, which will allow crypto protocols to outsource the production of zero-knowledge ZK proofs. Proof Market, a trustless data accessibility protocol, enables layer 1 and 2 blockchains and protocols to generate zero-knowledge proofs on demand for seamless data sharing without reliance on centralized intermediaries. ZK cryptography is increasingly common throughout the blockchain industry, with applications ranging from privacy to security to data compression. Now moving to today's discussion, we started the new year with Bitcoin at a struggling price of $16,000. About a week ago, we saw an upward movement and fluctuation of the price of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other cryptocurrencies to an extent encouraging the crypto community. Now, there have been conspiracy theories as to why there's a sudden surge in the price of Bitcoin, but that's not what we're looking into today. Further from just trading cryptocurrencies and how volatile the market is, blockchain is one technology that transcends just being a ledger to crypto transaction. It has been proven over time to be a technology to reckon with in the business sector, the health sector, the educational sector, what have you. But how much have we been taking advantage of these technologies to solve real-world problems and bring solutions to some pressing issues we have in the society? Now, to throw some light on this line of thought better, we'll be discussing leveraging blockchain technology to solve real-world problems as it relates to the blockchain industry itself, the fintech industry, and also the government. Also, we are going to touch on one of the biggest events coming up on the 27th and the 28th of January 2023, the Africa Technology Expo, which is going to be bringing you the ultimate blockchain experience happening at the NAF Conference Center in Abuja. But before we get into all of this conversation, if this is your first time watching this program, make sure to follow us across all social media platforms and subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay updated in the ever-evolving world of blockchain and cryptocurrency. Do want to turn on your post notification button. Now let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll get into the conversation. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
Blockchain lovers, get ready to have your minds blown. The Africa Technology Expo is bringing you the ultimate blockchain experience. on January 27, 2023, at the NAV Conference Center in Abuja. An opportunity of a lifetime. There will be panel discussions with leaders from blockchain and mainstream industries. Peter Obi, Professor Isa Pantami, Peter Mba, Adedeji Owonibi, Chris Ani, Tola Joseph Fadugbagbe, Kelechi Amadi Obi, and many others. There will also be interactive and practical workshops, and even a blockchain-themed party. You will leave feeling inspired, connected, and ready to take on the blockchain world. Don't miss out on this unforgettable event. Get your free tickets at africatechnologyexpo.com. Can't wait to see you at the Blockchain Day of Africa Technology Expo.
Don't get stuck in the past. Get all the latest news and happenings on blockchain and cryptocurrency only on Crypto TV Plus.
Hello, my name is Chiki and I'm the bull of the bullet.
Keep watching Crypto TV Plus.
Don't touch that dial. Peace.
Welcome back, everyone tuning in from around the world. This is Inside Blockchain. If this is your first time watching this program, make sure to follow us across all social media platforms and subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay updated in this world of blockchain and cryptocurrency. Do want to turn on your post notification button. Now, the crypto economy is beginning to see the light as the market sees some upward movement in the pricing power of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other cryptocurrencies. We hope that we begin to see more smiles across the faces of traders. And just by the way, today we'll be discussing leveraging blockchain technology to solve real world problems. Last year we had a lot of theoretical conversations about how we can harness blockchain technology potentials in the crypto space. This year we're delving deeper into the conversation as a metamorphoses into how we can transition the blockchain technology possibilities to the mainstream industry and also to the fintech industry and beyond. Beyond just educating blockchain users, but indigenous newbies and startups in Africa. So leaning on the conversation is the CEO and co-founder of Spark Africa, Nemeka Clinton. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much.
Amazing. It feels amazing to, have you here talk about, the event and also blockchain technology. So let's start with the event. What is Africa Technology Expo that is happening on the 27th and 28th of January in Abuja? What is it all about? Let us talk about that first.
Okay, so basically, right, the Africa Tech Expo is aimed at being the largest tech gathering in Africa, and this is edition basically is solely focused on promoting, right, and supporting indigenous startups and talent in Africa. So people who are building stores, people who are building innovative products and solutions. So we are aiming to bring them together and to connect them with investors, connect them with stakeholders, with policymakers, people who are expedient in making sure that they build resilient products, right? So before we aimed at building or having this expo, we took a tour around 4 countries: Malawi, Rwanda, South Africa, Kenya, and then Nigeria. So basically, what we are looking at for was going to rural areas to look for people, talents who are building stuffs that solve problems, right? Not people who are building this another flutter wave. People who are building solutions that can solve problems. And then we decided to have an expo or an event that is aimed at supporting these indigenous startups, people that can't be able to get a visa to travel to GITEX or to travel to Africa FinTech Summit, Washington, but are building something that can change the world, that can solve Africa. And then outside that, people who are in the rural areas and need support, right? So there are people who have ideas, people have talents, but beyond the ideas, beyond the talent, beyond the products, is to really support what they do and really make sure that they build sustainable products that can solve Africa's problems.
In 2022, we had a lot of events, happen, especially in Nigeria. And also, it took place in different places or different parts of, Africa. What is making Africa Technology Expo to stand out? What is going to make Africa Technology Expo stand out from other events that have happened in the past? And what should participants be expecting from this event, especially when it is at the beginning of the year and there are a lot of, a lot of activities that are so much packed for the event? What should participants be expecting?
Okay. So first of all, is we called it the Africa Tech Expo, not the Africa Tech Summit, not the Africa Tech Conference. Now, basically, because let's say a place like Lagos, right? In Lagos, events holded which virtually every day tech conferences, and people come there, they talk, and they all leave hyped up, and then they don't really go to implement it, and then people talk nowadays. People are talking, right? But then, however, the Africa Tech Expo is more like a hands-on event. It's just an expo. So we want people who are building stuff to come on that day and showcase what they are building. Let's see what you're building. Let's see how your product solves problems. Let's see how seamless your product is. And then beyond that is we are doing two unique things in this event. The first is they come with an idea and live with a business initiative. And with the come with an idea and live with a business initiative, we are trying to, or we are going to literally turn ideas into businesses. So let me explain. So let's say, for instance, you have an idea of creating a no-code website or a no-code startup, right? And then you come to that event. What should you expect? The first thing you should expect is that you should expect to see this thing. Major stakeholders from the Nigerian Startup Act. So they'll be there to take a look at your idea and then help you to register that idea as a startup. Now from there, you go to meet the banks. So the banks will be there to give you a corporate account right on the spot. Now from there, you can also go ahead and meet the CAC with Spark representatives, right? We would help you make sure you have the right documents that would be able to that would facilitate your company registrations on the spot, right? So we are literally helping to turn ideas into businesses. We are giving you that push that you need to turn that your idea into a business, right? And then beyond that, we're also helping to the participants get to interact with our exhibiting companies and also investors, right? And more importantly, people who are doing quite well in this ecosystem. Now, what should they expect? They should come there, and some of them would get to have employment sessions, right? Job sessions with these companies. And beyond the job sessions where they get to actually tell them what they do, beyond that, the participants, more importantly, will also get to interact with the stakeholders, right? And with stakeholders, they get to learn from panel sessions from key players like Koromone from Tekabau, from Oswald Osaritin from the current SSA to the president, to Joshua of Piggyvest, to Lantana of UNDP. So they're coming to learn from these dudes, right, who are really navigating their whole ecosystem, their paths, and doing quite well. And beyond learning from them, they're also going to come down and also turn their idea into businesses. Startups are going to meet with investors and then get to secure funding for their startups, right? And majorly, this is what we are doing to really make the event stand out, right? And looking at how it's a 2-day event, we are giving more attention to the two sides of tech, blockchain and normal tech, right? Tech and talent. So we want to give utmost attention to these sectors and make sure talents thrive in this and become outstanding in whatever path that they choose.
Amazing. It just feels like there's a lot that is going to be going on, and I can't wait for the Africa Technology Expo to happen. So let's get into Spark Africa. Let's touch a little bit on Spark Africa. What is Spark Africa about, and how did the brand come about? And let us know what it has been up to, since it came into the industry.
Okay, so Spark Africa, basically what we do is to revolutionize or democratize block. So we try to make sure that everybody has we try to push people a step closer to their visions, to their goals, right? And through various means, right? So currently we mentor people, mentor startups, we mentor talents on marketing, branding, and other areas that can help people to actually build resilient businesses. Now, outside that, we also work with startups and help in market entry, branding, and other areas, right? Basically. And recently, we are launching the Spark Africa Fund, and the aim of that fund is to help to invest in startups. So we are big on startups. We are big on talent. I personally believe that startups are the ones, or Africa is a hub for the next tech revolution. And then that revolution cannot happen without the startups, without attention given to talent. And then we're not really trying to work with the whole vague conceptualization of startups, right? So people who are actually building stuffs, people who are building solutions to our problems, not people who are building another flutter wave, right? People who are really building stuff. That's what Spark Africa does. We come in there, we connect different stakeholders, and we also help startups to actually launch into the market and maintain their market, maintain their position in the market through various ways: mentorship, funding, events, and all round, right? So that is basically what we do. And with our recent Spark Africa Fund, we are looking to invest in startups, right? So we are collaborating with a couple of startups and a couple of accelerator hubs like Techstars and Sterling Bank to really give attention to startups which are doing a lot in Africa, most especially in Nigeria, Kenya, Rwanda, and South Africa.
So let's touch on let's start getting into the meat of the matter, into the conversation. We talked about providing solution, especially in leveraging on the blockchain. But let's touch on the problems we're having, and let's start from the blockchain space, especially from the crypto trading market to building innovations to sustaining emerging blockchain projects, which seems like some of the problems that we are facing in the blockchain space. So let's narrow it and specify it down to the blockchain space. What are some of the problems we are facing right now in the blockchain space that has not brought us out of this, this phase of we're still in the shadows? What is the problems? What are some of the problems we are facing?
Okay, so first of all, just like every other industry, right? So the major people who control market entry and who control the ecosystem are the policymakers, right? And then one key thing you should understand is that if they up there don't understand how what you do works, right, they would limit it. So I'll be quite plain. The policymakers, the government agencies. So when you bring up an idea that seems revolutionary or revolting, and you bring it into an ecosystem or into a body with rules, one thing is sacrosanct, which is the fact that the head will always want to resist. So they feel that with blockchain, the youth can just revolt and start doing their own thing. They won't be under the control of the government, and the list goes on and on and on, right? So, but then one major thing is regulation, and regulation is controlled no other than the government people, the government agencies, from the NITDA to CBN to the financial institutions. These are people who control the regulation of blockchain. And when you get to understand one particular thing, which is key, that blockchain doesn't cause people to revolt, or blockchain doesn't mean that we are distancing ourselves from you. We are still under your control, but then not a direct control, right? And then that's one thing we are trying to do with this expo. We are getting the key stakeholders of the blockchain tech in Nigeria and the economy to come down and let us talk it out. Get to understand how blockchain works from our perspective. Get to understand how cryptocurrency works, right? It is not a way to boycott all your rules, right? Yes, it is solely third party based, but then it's not outside your radar, right? So we want to be able to get people to understand how these things work and how it is really solving problems in Africa, in Nigeria, right? So give for instance, with blockchain and cryptocurrency, a couple of students in universities have been able to see what to do while in school, right? Not just see like a side hustle, right? And then it has really created a lot of opportunities for people, for youths, right? And then the government agencies need to understand that this is actually helping us, right? And we need to work together and be in sync to make this work. So I feel until there is an understanding, a clear understanding between these stakeholders, from the government agencies to the third party to the end-to-end users, once there is this whole synchronization, that's when blockchain begins to thrive in Africa, in Nigeria. And one thing is expedient to note is the fact that the world is moving so fast. It is moving without slowing down. And the better African leaders begin to understand how this works, how the world is moving, where the world is moving to, that's when will be able to actually emancipate into it.
Amazing, amazing. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll get into the conversation proper and be talking about how we can leverage blockchain technology to solve real world problems in the society today. Don't go anywhere, stay with us, we'll be right back. Believe me when I tell you that if you are not part of the people that did an AI avatar of yourself early this year, trust me, you cannot be influenced by anything. I mean, anything. Now, last year, NFTs were a big thing with a lot of hype and razzmatazz. Now that the hype has died down, a lot of people are asking, are NFTs dead? Are they gone? My answer is no. Non-fungible tokens are still taking center stages, from the art world to movies to...
Don't get stuck in the past. Get all the latest news and happenings on blockchain and cryptocurrency only on Crypto TV Plus.
Hello, my name is Chiki and I'm the Bow of the Bullet.
Keep watching Crypto TV Plus.
Don't touch that die. Peace.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Inside Blockchain. We're still discussing leveraging blockchain technology to solve real-world problems, and we still have Clinton with us today, who has been shedding more light on what it is to use blockchain and some of the problems we're encountering in this space and out of this space. Clinton, it's nice to have you here today. Now, we have seen the fintech industry consistently building and evolving to better their services and solving major problems users face while interacting with the fintech technology. Now, we talked about the blockchain space. Let's move it into the fintech space. What are some of the key parts or key challenges blockchain technology can address and help traditional fintech models to solve? Now, we know that blockchain technology in the crypto space helps with transactions, help with a lot of things, especially in building innovations like NFTs, metaverse, GameFi, and the rest of it. What can the blockchain technology do in the fintech space in society? Now, let's move it out from the blockchain environment. Let's bring it to the normal day-to-day activities of an average man in Africa, in the world. What can blockchain technology do to solve some of the problems? And what are some of the problems that we're actually facing in the fintech space?
Okay, so major issues that we're facing in the fintech space is number one is payments, right? Payments across borders, right? So we see someone in the UK. Let's say when I was in the US, I did find it difficult to transfer money down to Nigeria. There wasn't really any strong company that was adding that, right? And then I had to resort to blockchain, right? I can remember I used Binance, right, to be able to send money down to Nigeria. And then beyond that, another issue that we face is also card payments. So we see fintech companies rise day by day, and they say, "Oh, you can have a dollar card, and with your dollar card, you can be able to pay for Apple, Amazon, and all of this, right?" But then it doesn't cut it. There is no one size fits all card, right? The issue still keeps on increasing, right? And then this still brings me back to my initial talk all around collaboration, right? So we see fintech have issues with payments across borders. Then we also see them have issues with card, right? International payments. So I feel where if fintech start to leverage on more blockchain assisted tech to be able to leverage on this tech actually on blockchain to assist or build upon what they have. I think that will really go a long way. And beyond that, there needs to be like a sensitization of the users on how these things work, right? So, and because one of the dilemma of a company or a fintech company who wants to integrate blockchain in its this thing framework, I think one issue that he or she would have would be user engagement, right? So there needs to be a kind of orientation of users of how to use these things, and it's not a big deal, right? It's not rocket science. With an app, with YouTube, this thing solves it. So blockchain is really doing a lot to solve problems in Africa, from adding payments to adding yes, international payment and card services. And I feel that a fintech can actually leverage on blockchain to solve all of this, or to impose on their framework. I think they would be unstoppable. And beyond that, having orientation or sensitizing their users on how these things work, I think they will really go a long
Yeah,
way.
talking about collaborations. Last year we saw a lot of events and collaborations happen, especially in bridging the gap between the blockchain industry and the mainstream industry. However, most of the people that were reached were mostly elites and the well-read in the industry, which seems like it's restricting the adoption of blockchain and crypto in the rural areas. Now, how do you think we can bridge this gap and leverage on blockchain technology to provide solutions that we are waiting for, especially in solving real-world problems? Because I remembered when you were talking about the Africa Technology Expo, you talked about, meeting the startups, making sure that the indigenous people and the local people have access to, blockchain technology and can showcase what they can do and what they have to offer. So how do you think that these solutions can be provided and we can solve these problems, especially from the bottom level, instead of going from the top to the bottom, but from the bottom to the top? How do you think this can happen?
Okay, so I'll use an example of the current PVC trend, right? So there's this trend on in Nigeria actually for people to go get their PVCs, and it boils down to the market women, right? So go get your PVC to the dudes in the marketplaces, say go get your PVC, and then if you notice very well, the people who champion this are two entities: the government entity and the private sector entity. Now, did it start today? Did this orientation or this whole pressure to get PVC start today? No, it did not. It started months ago, years ago, right? And then it was quite planned, right? It was a planned process. So if you really want to ensure that people or Nigerians from the grassroots level get to know how tech works, how blockchain works, that boils down to two main entities: the private sector and the government agencies. Now, once the government agencies, because they are the pole bearers, right? They're the ones who are in charge of the system, and then they are in charge of going down there or sensitizing people at the grassroots level to go get PVCs or get into blockchain. So they need to understand how blockchain works first of all before they can be able to disseminate that information to people. Now, outside the government agencies, the next is the private sector. So people like Spark, people like Binance, people like other companies which are pioneering this whole tech revolution. I think it will be quite expedient if they can go down to the grassroots. Now, bear in mind that it won't be a one day something. It has to be a planned approach within time. It starts with a step. It starts with you coming to Imo State, to Abuja. You start with that. You have a long term plan, right? But then this private sector won't be able to breathe. They won't be able to make much impact or as lasting an impact without a collaboration with the government agencies. So it still boils down to the collaboration, because I'm not the president and I can't go I can't declare a national this thing, a state of emergency. I can't. He's a president, right? So and it still boils down to him and his administration, right, to be able to implement this. And I do hope that the incumbent the incumbent administration or the incoming administration actually will actually get to carry this as their major goal, which is to go out there and sensitize people, and then not just to sensitize them, but to show them, and not just showing them, but implementing how blockchain, how tech, how fintech is solving problems and how they can key into it. Because if you go to the normal market woman in, let's say, in Anambra State or in Lagos State, in a major market, and you tell them, oh, there's this new app or there's this new thing, I think it will help your business. The first thing that comes to her mind is scam. Is scam, right? But then we need to be able to relate with these people, just like the new Naira note has come out and people are beginning to adjust to it. That is how people will adjust to it. So I think that it all boils down to the administration, and with the private sector having this passion, right, to help people, to orientate people about how it works, and then make them see firsthand how it's solving problems. How I can stay here and be able to send money to someone in Australia with my Binance card or with my dollar card. right, or with my Naira card. So it still boils down to these two agencies, the private sector ecosystem and the public sector ecosystem. I think when there is proper unison and collaboration, the sky would be our starting point.
Great, great. Thank you so much. Just to wrap up today's episode, let's know what are, Spark Africa future plans on, bringing in new solutions, in the blockchain space. And when you were talking, you said it that it's not a one-day thing. It's not something that will happen overnight. It's something that takes, steps and process, and is a process to getting the required result that we need. But what next after Africa Technology Expo? What next for Spark Africa, especially in Nigeria and in Africa, in bridging the gap between the mainstream and getting the government on board, to the crypto space and also to the blockchain space?
Okay. So one thing we are able to do with this expo was to tighten our partnerships with the Nigerian government, right, with the administration, with key institutions, just like NITDA, the NAPC, the NSE, couple of key stakeholders in this ecosystem. So we are able to make sure we tighten our partnerships. Now, moving forward, we have like a plan for Africa, and it all starts with the expo. Our vision is to create a tech-enabled Africa, right? That is our vision, and it's starting with the expo. From our expo, we have our smaller accelerator programs, which is aimed at really building, which is aimed at capacity building and also incubating startups that are solving problems, and also the key factor, pushing the narrative of a tech-enabled Africa, getting the key stakeholders involved. It won't just be the expo. We have other events lined up for the year and other programs, right? And beyond the programs, beyond the cameras at the back, right? We are signing MOUs. We are engaging key stakeholders with the sole aim of making sure that we make Africa prosper. And it all starts with the individual countries: Nigeria, South Africa, Kenya. So we have a lot in store, and I am really looking forward to an awesome time with our plan, with our vision, and I am very sure that we would have like a very good response from the different African countries.
Thank you so much, Clinton, for coming to the show. We know it has been a busy period for you, especially looking, towards what is coming in, especially the African Technology Expo we're going to be having, to see before, the end of this month. Thank you so much.
We did.
And I hope to see you at the event.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
Amazing. And that will be all on today's program. You can get more market updates and other happenings captured within the world of blockchain and cryptocurrency on our website, cryptotvplus.com. Follow us on all social media platforms at cryptotvplus to get daily info on our programs. Thank you for staying with us. I am Faith Ekwari. I had Clinton, who talked about leveraging blockchain technology in solving real-world problems. I'll see you next week.